You want some whiskey, dude?
Yeah, man.
Have you been to Iron Fish yet since you've been here?
Oh, yeah. All the way out in the country.
Yeah.
I've been there like maybe 2 times so far.
Well, good. Because they're awesome.
I like them a lot.
We love them. This is their flagship, their maple bourbon. So if I'm going to pour something for you, we'll pour something.
Loose it up.
Yeah, loosen up the vocals a little bit.
Yeah.
Inhibitions.
That's the bourbon.
That's their flagship.
Maple syrup. I like maple syrup.
So it's aged in the maple syrup barrels there. So it gives it a little extra
So I'm assuming it's going to be a little sweet.
It's not really that sweet. It just gives it a little hint of cinnamon. There's a little hint of maple. There's almost like a French toast to it, but it's not a flavored whiskey by any means.
No.
No.
Not like Fireball.
Not like that at all. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, that hit the spot.
Now, I don't usually do this with a computer, but I've got some notes on here I want to make sure I touch on, while we talk.
Fire away.
But, so you just moved here?
I moved here, the beginning of, what year is this? I don't know.
So you're at the tail end of, like, the pandemic. Does that have anything to do with being able to work remotely?
Well, yeah, I worked remotely, mostly post-production gigs, and fortunately, I was able to get by with most of the post-production gigs, and mostly deaf and hard of hearing film production. They kept reaching out to me and, hey, can you do this post-production editing, and they got me busy for maybe for a year and a half. And then I moved to Pennsylvania to do some wedding gigs and help out my dad because he was having some medical issues, and that kept me busy for a while because New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all that area. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area, but it's just a lot of area to cover, and a lot of people live there, obviously, and they got me busy, and didn't have to worry about pandemic or anything like that. I did have some, unemployment benefits in the beginning because everything just shut down for like a month and 2-3 months. It's like everything just flat out dead. Everything was dead. And so I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I spent,
This episode is brought to you by Hampton Inn & Suites of Manistee. Listen, folks, the holiday season is just around the corner. And located on beautiful Lake Michigan is the new Hampton Inn & Suites. They can design a custom dining experience for your next event, and with the Hampton Inn & Suites, your social event, business conference, wedding, or holiday gathering is sure to be one to remember. Hey, we're getting into that freezing season, if you know what I mean. And if you're the kind of person that gets tired of the cold, then head on over to the Hampton Inn & Suites for a dip in their heated pool and hot tub. Skinny dipping is not encouraged. Listen, they offer a free breakfast and an on-site restaurant that's sure to satisfy the entire family. Now offering staycation discounts. Reserve your room today by calling 231-299-1096. That's 231-299-1096. This episode is brought to you by Chapo's Northside Bar. You ever say to yourself, man, I want to get my hands on the best burger that Manistee has to offer. And maybe your partner, your dining companion, is really into wings. Well, guess what? Chapo's Northside Bar was voted best burger and best wings in Manistee. Yeah, best of both worlds. A little beef and a little chicken. Folks, they have 7 TVs, and every single one of them is going to have a sporting event on it. This place is rad. You need to come and check it out. Chapo's Northside Bar is a proud sponsor of the Manistee Local Podcast. I'm proud to have them on the podcast. And again, if you're looking for the best burger and wings in town, then look no further than Chapo's Northside Bar. This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker owner of Dwelling Realty, Keller Williams, Northern Michigan. Are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list your home with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven marketed strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified of buyers. With 17 years in the business, you'll have someone experienced who's on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981. That's 231-690-4981. Or Brandon at dwellingrealty.com. This episode is brought to you by Just Clean, Manistee's premier car wash located at 146 Cleveland Street or just north of the US 31 bridge. Choose their ultimate car wash, folks. That's what I always do because I can't stand my truck being dirty. And the ultimate car wash is the best. It includes a triple foam conditioner, ceramic coating plus wax, and a 60-second heated blow dry. Get in, get out, get looking fly, get the dirt and dust and grime off your vehicle. Choose Just Clean Car Wash of Manistee.
A couple months doing shipped, and I give him groceries and stuff.
Jesus Christ. Now you got to do what you got to do, right?
I gotta support my family.
Yep.
It was just me and my wife and my dog at the time. My wife, however, was very busy because she is a ESL interpreter. So, but her job was to do video relay services. It's sort of like it's like deaf people making a phone call using the phone or the laptop or iPad, whatever, and they will connect to a video relay service, and then my wife and other certified interpreter, whoever they would pick up a call, and they would see the interpreter, and then they would just direct to the next to the line, what do you call it, whoever they want to call.
Sure.
And then they communicate back and forth with my wife in the middle. So that was her job, and she was busy. So she was breadwinner. We call it somebody who's making money.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just chipping in. But it works
That was
out.
one of my questions. Is what your wife's name is Bridget? That's one of my questions I was going to have. Is like, what does she do? But that was going to be towards the end. But you're doing a good job. You're skipping all the way to the end for me.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good money, and it was very helpful. She was able to bring in the money while I was trying to chip in, to pocket money, whatever. Just whatever we can do to get through it. But she's not doing that right now. She's focusing on our infant.
Yep.
Yeah.
How old is your baby?
She's just about to getting close to 8 months.
Wow. Life-changing, dude.
Oh, yeah. She's standing, she's babbling, doing all this lip smacking mouth, always smiling. Every time I go into a room, like I haven't seen her for a couple hours, and she's playing around in the living room with my wife, and I would just come home from work, and as soon as she sees me, boom, smiling, just like that. It's nice being a dad. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice being a dad. Cheers to that.
You got 2 kids?
3.
Yeah. How old are they?
I got a 20-year-old,
Damn.
18, and a 7. Well, my 7-year-old is going to be 8 in December.
She was in the social media a couple times.
Yeah, she's a ham. I try not to do. I'm trying not to do that so much anymore.
Yeah, privacy.
Yeah, privacy. But
Yeah, my wife started deleting all the photos of her daughter.
it's a weird thing when, when social media first started. It was just a place to share with family and friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And now it's a telescope into somebody's life. And if you're not careful, somebody can find out everything about you.
Yeah. That's what I'm freaking out about.
Well, so real quick, yeah. So we kind of made a conscious effort to. The only reason why my personal Instagram page currently is not private, because it's always been private, was because I had an issue with my business page, Manistee Beverage, and I went on. I wasn't able to communicate with anybody. It was pissing me off.
Oh,
At Instagram.
Oh.
So, because it's verified, I paid for the verified.
Right.
In order to make sure that shit like this doesn't happen, you know what I mean? So I could talk to somebody, but my page got shut down. And
Really?
It was of no fault of mine. And they didn't give me an answer.
Wow.
But basically, they were like, it's our fault. Long story short, I had to verify my personal page, because it can't be verified if it's a private page. So I verified my personal page so that I could have direct contact with somebody from Instagram and say, hey, what's going on over here? They fixed it. Took a couple of days. It was a big pain in the ass.
Sounds like it.
But I've left it open and verified for a while in case I had another issue. But I'm getting ready to go back to private on that because I do use that page just for my friends, really.
Yeah.
My close friends and family, but I really did. Well, first of all, Adrian, how do you pronounce your last name?
Mangiardi.
Okay, so I was close.
You were close.
I was close. But just to give people that are watching or listening a little bit of background on you, you're deaf.
That is correct. No surprise.
Yeah. You're a filmmaker.
That's correct.
That comes with its own challenges.
That is.
Now that we've got that formality out of the way, I want to talk about, number one, like, how long has it been since birth?
Well, I was born just fine. It's just kind of complicated. But for my parents, they told me that both of my older brothers got chickenpox, and they passed it down to me when I was just maybe not even 1 year old, and had a high fever. Mom called the doctor, freaked out. Doctor said, "Hey, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." And then maybe some time later, I started losing my hearing. That's what they said. According to my dad, he said that I was sleeping in the crib, and he had a pots and pan, and just went over my crib and started banging it. I never responded. That's when he knew. But there's something else. This year, I talked to another guy who is a relative in my dad's family. He's deaf. He was born deaf. And there's another relative who's also deaf. So it could be that I already inherited deaf genetic. I don't know. It's just a whole big thing. So I've been deaf since I was 1. I don't know.
So when did the cochlear implant come in?
It started, I was kind of resisting it for a long time because of the wires and everything. And
so let me cut real quick. So you were resisting it.
I did.
And you without that, can you hear anything at all?
Well, I had a hearing aid. I had
Okay.
a hearing aid on this side, but it helped and it hurts. And it was just a lot of, what do you call it? It's just a lot of amplified noises.
Yeah.
So just pounding noises day by day since I was 2 or 3 years old, so I can hear something. But I kept turning up the volume max, like all the way, and I couldn't hear anything. There's a lot of feedback. When you rub in the ear, you get feedback. And just started to lose my hearing. And my mom, she's started to look. She was studying to become a hearing therapist at the time, and that's when she found out about cochlear implant. And she said that, hey, you should get cochlear implant. This is a little bit better than hearing aid. And I said, no. I learned about it, but it was giving me some kind of nightmares. Like I was cocooned by wires.
Yeah.
And I was young. I was 15. I didn't want to deal with it. So she started crying in the car, begging me to get the cochlear implant. So I'm like, fine, I'll get it. Whatever. So I got the cochlear implant. It's just a lot of it was intense. Had it done in New York City, and I had like 25 staples. Just a lot of, just it's weird. It's a weird feeling to go through. And then maybe a couple months later, they had to remove the staples one by one. It was a lot. It was pretty painful. 25 of them. I did a documentary about it. It's called Paper Airplane. It's online, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's basically just what do you call it? A montage of videos showing my perspective as a deaf person, and also interview my moms, my dad, my brothers, what it's like having a deaf person in their family.
Yeah.
And so it's a very interesting journey for me as a deaf person to understand what it's like to understand their perspective. So back to 15 years old, so I got my implant, and it took me about maybe a couple of years to learn how to listen. It's all electrical. It doesn't sound the same as a hearing aid, even though I was wearing a hearing aid at the same time. But somewhat over time, I'm starting to this is my hearing aid, this is my cochlear implant. Over time, my understanding of sound and my awareness and this, how do I say it? I don't know how you say it. My comprehension level just went, it just went up, and I stopped wearing it. There were a lot of times when I started wearing my cochlear implants, I was like, what the hell was that? What is that? I even ducked. I thought the bird would come in real close, but no, they're way up in the sky. Oh. So that's kind of a learning experience for me. That was back in 1995. That was my first implant. The second implant was 2005, so I have another one. But I don't wear them. It just sounds like too much, I think.
So it just amplifies everything more?
Yeah, it's more 3D.
What does that mean, 3D?
I mean, I can tell where the sound is coming from. It's just very one-dimensional. Okay. I'm always on the left side of the group. I'm always the right side of the movie theater. So I can hear a little bit. I can hear better if I can sit closer to the speakers or whatever. So yeah, so that's my story.
Is it I've heard, that's weird too. So in preparation for talking with you, it seemed odd to me to say things like I heard or when I've listened to, just because of where you've come in your experience with hearing.
Right.
It almost seems a little insensitive to talk like that because I'm not used to speaking to somebody who's deaf. And we should let people know you're reading my lips some of the time too, right?
100%.
And this is one of maybe two experiences I've had with somebody who's deaf.
Right.
And it's completely you are experiencing life every day talking with people who can hear. And
I do.
We're like it's completely second nature to us.
Right.
And it sounds really shitty, but until I started really researching you and your business, I went down, I watched all your YouTubes.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching your videos on Instagram. I think are fucking amazing.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I think more people should be watching your page, your page. Your business page is great too, but your personal page, where you just daily reels talking about your experiences with people who can hear and being a deaf person and those interactions and what those things mean, is eye-opening. I was just telling my team tonight. I got here a little early before we closed to kind of prep for today, and I was telling them that I had watched your videos on YouTube, your work with your company, Mangiardi Films. And I'm going to put all of this in the show notes, so I'll have all of your links in there so people can check it out, and I encourage people to do so. But I was... a couple of the videos, like the Google Nest.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
I really liked that, but I really enjoyed watching the Android.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The
gay couple.
The couple and the child, and one of the dads got, I assume was a dad, one of the dads got a new phone.
Yeah.
And couldn't figure out how to set it all up.
Yeah.
And the child linked in with Android online, and then showed them a gal who was signing live to them to kind of walk them through everything. I thought was like, not even on my radar, dude. You know what I mean? Not even on my radar. And I felt so, number one, connected to the people in that video. Like, I'm so glad that there's something out there to do that for them. But then also, seriously, in me, I felt really like it tugged at my heart. Like, God damn, you don't think about that. Somebody who hears doesn't think about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, no. That's the thing, because in my deaf world, we struggle for accessibility. And it's like a ongoing obstacles, you know. And I'm just glad to be in the world, you know. Because before I went to college, I wasn't in that deaf world. I was in the sort of like a oralism world where a deaf person learned how to speak and practice how to, you know, use their voice and move our mouths and all that stuff. We call that oralism, an oralist, a deaf person who can speak. And I didn't know much of the sign language at the time. Just basic gesture, you know, like with the bird, fingers, and you know, Italian gesture, you know, whatever. Yeah. And then I went to college, Rochester Institute of Technology. That was in upstate New York, Rochester, New York. And it's weird because my dad knows about it. He said, hey, because I was, the first year I went to college, it was not RIT, it was someone else. And it was very depressing. I was very depressed. And I was just having a hard time socializing. Tried to join the fraternity, they shut me out. And it was pretty dark. And then my dad told me, hey, what about this school, this college? There's a lot of deaf students there. I'm like, really? You think I should go there? Yeah. Let's go there during the summer. Let's check it out. So we went there. We had a deaf person giving us a tour on the campus. It was dead. There was nobody there. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I'll go there. And then, so my parents dropped me off. And there's like swarm of kids, students. And there are a lot of arms waving. Sign language was happening. Everywhere. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. And I got a bunch of people signing to me. I don't know what they're saying. Damn it. What the hell am I doing? If there's somebody like me who, you know, like, can speak, but there's hardly anybody that can speak. So, but luckily I was roommate with a deaf person who can speak, and he knows sign language. And I was like, oh, great, that's nice to meet you. I'm happy to be here. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, we hosted a party in our dorm room. We weren't supposed to, but we were like, fuck it. So we decided to have a party. And just mingling, hanging out with anybody in our hallway, our floor. Yeah. And they're all like a bunch of deaf people. And different, you know, they have variety of communication skills. And some can speak, some can sign. Some don't speak and just sign only. So I made a move on a deaf girl. And I spoke to her without sign language. And she looked at me all confused. And then I was like, I kind of turned around, look at my roommate. And he said, not everybody can read your lips. Not all deaf people can read your lips. And I was like, shit. Okay. And I ended up taking American Sign Language class. I was the only deaf person in that classroom.
That's wild.
And everybody else, like, I remember sitting with a bunch of hearing students. They are learning to be interpreters, and I'm just like, I'm the only deaf guy there. That's weird. But the professor is deaf. And she doesn't use her mouth. She just, like, turn the voice off and sign all the way. And I was like, it's easy. I'm taking all the tests. And damn, I think it's too damn easy. Pfft, no problem. Pass it, just one semester of it, and I didn't need to take it again. And I started picking up sign language through, socializing with a bunch of kids. They're wild. These people are wild.
Why is that?
Because they just party hard. They party like there's no tomorrow. They can drink anything, and they just. I don't know how. I'm like, damn, I can't keep up. I cannot keep up. But then, maybe sometime later, I was able to keep up.
Yeah.
But then it took a lot out of me, like my livers and just damn, man, these people can party, and they were rough. They're rough.
Well, I mean, I think it was a huge move to go to school.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's, there's a lot of kids out there that struggle with stepping out of their comfort zone and leaving home, who don't have, a hearing disability or any kind. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. I just used the term disability.
Oh man, disability is not the right word. I mean, I would just say, hearing impaired is not really recommended either.
Like, what is the thing? I don't know what to say. I actually driving to work today. I was thinking about this. Like, I wanted to bring that up because I think most people, like myself, would say, you have a disability.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have any disability.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So, speak to that a little bit. I mean, why it's because you don't have something that I have.
Right.
And I feel like I don't have any disability or any impairment or anything. I mean, I've got all my limbs. I can hear. I can see. I'm not hindered in my day-to-day.
Right.
The only thing that hinders me is just normal, everyday shit that might get in my way. But I don't have to try to read lips. I don't have to learn sign language. I don't have to turn something up to hear or to bat away ambient noise. That's a nuisance.
Right. I mean, we live with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I adapt. We evolved.
Yeah.
We got better. I mean, when you say the word disability,
I hate it. And I'm not just.
I've had people coming up to me, and they thought that I was from another country.
Yeah, I watched one of your videos where you talked about that. That's pretty funny.
And I'm like, sometimes I have choices. Do I want to play along? Say, yeah, I'm from Italy, or I'm from Germany, I'm from France. Or just be like, no, I'm just deaf. So, some of the responses I get was, when let's say I'm deaf to the person who asked about where I'm from, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
What the fuck you gotta be sorry for?
Right,
There's
exactly.
no reason for you to be sorry for.
Right.
That kind of pissed me off. No, people, don't say that. Don't feel sorry for anybody. Just be like, oh, cool. That's it. Oh, cool. That's nice. That's awesome. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. But it made me feel like, what the fuck? Why do you have to say something like that? I get that a lot. And I'm just like, I just eat my words and just be like, it's okay. It's fine. As a wedding videographer, I get that a lot. So I just decided to go this direction just to play with them. Because, pretty obvious I got a thing in my head.
Yeah.
But they're like, where are you from? I'm like, don't you see why I got a thing in my head? But they don't see it. They never look past that. So they just assume I'm from another country. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play around. Yes, good guess. I'm from Italy. I'm an immigrant. And then, oh, yeah, cool. Where? Oh, Italy, Calabria. Oh, okay. And they move along. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. But it just, I don't know, I feel weird at the same time. Do I
Sure.
want to be honest, or I just want to just evade that I'm sorry part?
That's got to be an internal struggle.
It is. Whatever.
No. I can't relate, but I mean, I can. In my mind, I feel like that would be kind of like I would be the same way. Like, depending on the mood I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I would either be honest and explain, or I would be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. But then, because of this, I decided to, like photographer, for example, I decided to be like, I go to them and say, hey, just want to let you know I'm deaf and I rely on reading your lips. So please let me know, or just get my attention by waving or tap my shoulder or whatever. I'm just going to follow you. Okay? If I can't understand it, just make sure that I understand you, but just with my head, I will confirm that I understood you. Stuff like that. And they just like, oh, cool. You know, some photographers are not really great to work with, and some photographers are great to work with. And great people. They're very like helpful, collaborative, and for photographers, I'm sure they all want to deal with working with me, trying to communicate with me. But it's just easier if you do it this way.
Yeah.
Rather than just making it difficult for me. And like, it's not about me. It's about the wedding people. We're doing the job for them. You want the best product for them. It's not about you. We gotta work together. All right. That's it. You know.
So your company, so you went? Did you go into
Okay,
please
a little
pour
bit
yourself
more.
Get some in there, dude. I told you it was good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring this down real quick because I want to pull up your website one more time.
I call it brain juice.
Brain juice.
Yeah.
It is good. It is very good. So how long have you owned your own company then? Mangiardi Films.
It started becoming 2003. I would say 2003. Long time.
That's fantastic. I mean, in your bio, it's like 20 years experience. You've been doing this for a very long time. For you guys watching or listening, if you're going to take a break, go to mangiardifilms.com and check it out. The website's really legit. You've worked with a lot of brands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that. But I also like the music videos that you do.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite part of the.
We'll talk about those then, because I have some questions, but I want to hear like how did those come up, and then you're working with a deaf artist, I
Right.
assume. Okay, yeah,
You mean kind of a long story?
that's okay. We have time. We're drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You know, at RIT, there's like maybe 15,000 deaf people there, deaf students, different ages. And, you know, while I was a student there, you know, you come across these, they're great people, great family, a lot of friends there. And one of them, his name is Sean Forbes. He's a Michigan native hip-hop artist, and he's deaf. And he came up to me and asked if I would be interested in putting together a video for him. And I was like, sure, why not? So he did some American Sign Language interpretation of Eminem's songs. One of them was called Lose Yourself. And Clean Out Your Closet. What's that called?
I'm not familiar with that one. but Lose Yourself for
Mockingbird
sure.
or something?
There you go. I think it's that. That sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah. Those two songs. I think there's a third one, but I can't remember which one. It's been a long time. We're talking 2003.
Yeah.
It's a long time. 2004. So I put it together for him. And he said that he took that DVD that I created for him. DVD was cool back then.
It was. Yeah, it definitely was.
So I gave him the DVD. It was a long process just putting it together because, you know, back then it's all like analog. We can't really transfer the files like now. It's like 5 minutes, but this one's like, 2 hours. Real time. And I put together a DVD for him. I gave it to him, and he took it with him to Detroit and pitched the concept of translating famous, like a popular song in sign language for deaf people to enjoy and watch and be part of this music community. So he pitched it, and in that room where he pitched it, he had the TV and everything, and played that DVD. But in that room, Eminem was there, and all this sound designer, sound mixer,
Sure,
and Joel, the manager of Eminem's. And so he played that video. And
no shit.
yeah, he presented it, and it was pretty cool. And then at the end of it, Eminem said, "Deaf people can hear music."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So since then, at that point, according to Sean, Joel, the founder of the whole process, he asked Sean, "Hey, come up with something to," he gave him a job right there on the spot.
Wow.
But maybe fast forward to a couple of years later, 2006, DPAN was founded by Sean and Joel. And the whole purpose of this company, non-profit organization, was to make the music accessible for the deaf and hard of hearing by producing videos of using sign language of popular songs like John Mayer, We Are the World, I guess, and American Stripe, or the Stripe, or the White Stripe.
White Stripe.
We're Gonna Be Friends. And what else? I can't remember all of it because we produced so many. But since 2006, I moved to Chicago, and he was still looking for DPAN, Deaf Professional Art Network.
Okay.
And he's been keeping in touch with me. Hey man, come work with me. You shoot all the video. You be the director. You edit the video. You do all the work. Yeah, but hold on. I'm still a grad student. I gotta finish first before I move on. Before I go over there. So I graduated for MFA, Master of Fine Art, in video, and I moved to Detroit and started working for Sean and the Professional Art Network as a director of video production. We shot a lot of videos. We shot different colors for Walk the Moon, where we were in New York City in the museum. We have all these talented deaf performers. And Ali Stroker, I don't know if you know Ali Stroker. She won the Tony Award. Ali Stroker, I don't know how to say this. She's a talented performer. She's a singer, but she's sitting in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And she was in the video, which is pretty awesome. And so I worked with lots of deaf professionals to make that video happen. And all the music video that we put together, one of my favorites was Miss Mambo with Molly Mathin, which is pretty cool. And that was over 40, 50 crew members under us. And it was
wild.
It was very expensive, but we put it all together. And we also did, for Sean, we did Deaf, the most, it went over 1 million views. Deaf was the first music video that we did together. And the funny thing that happened was, when I was editing the video, I was all alone. It was past midnight. I was all alone in the computer lab at the school in Chicago. And I was editing the video, and it was just him in the white background signing his song. I'm deaf, I'm so deaf. Deafer than Def Leppard. I make the world go around. I don't know the lyrics. Sorry if I don't know the words, Sean. But then, both of my implants went dead at the same time. And I'm just watching him in the videos, and he was just signing the entire time. I lost the sense of rhythm. I couldn't follow the beats. I Oh my fucking god, this is bad news. So I called him, and they said, we got a problem. And I said, I can't follow your beats. I can't follow anything. All I get was you signing. That's it. I cannot understand you. So we tried to figure out how can we make it accessible? How can we provide the rhythm? How can we make sure that deaf people can follow the rhythm and stuff like that? And I said, one of the words. Like, put the word. And he said, okay, try the keyword. Don't use all of them. Just try the keywords and see what happened. So I started adding the keywords. I'm like, this is not enough. This is not enough. So I started adding all the words, and I broke it up in phonetic. When I say phonetic, I mean like you get syllable.
Yep.
You know, like what do you call it? Like vodka. You see VOD and then KA. Vodka. You get
Vodka.
2 syllables.
Yep.
You break it up, but you don't see it the whole word. You break it up. You like pieces of words. Pieces of. How do I say? It's phonetic. That's what my friends say. Phonetic. So when you watch I'm Deaf, you'll see what I'm saying. It's like you hear the verb appear as you say it, rather than just showing the whole word. Make sense?
Yep.
So that was the birth of cool captioning, and it was a little bit heavy for Sean the first time I showed it to him. He was like, "Bro, that's too much. I'm getting epileptic." I'm like, just watch it a couple times. I love it. Just watch it. Keep watching it. Then he started watching it over and over again. And he said, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. And so I started, and that video went past 1 million views this year, which is great. It's a huge accomplishment.
It is. It really is. Yep.
So I started to apply that phonetic cool captioning to all of his music videos. You know, you can play around, you make it animatic, and just have fun with it. And it's a little different because a lot of people get used to seeing just a word, and most people can hear what the words sound like. But for deaf people, they don't know. I mean, if you're deaf, you don't know how people say it. So I'm just providing rhythms visually by showing, just like, cowabunga, or how are you, stuff like that, so they can get a sense of rhythm somehow.
Yeah, I think some of the AI software that's out there I use some of it in my videos, my short videos I make, does that with the words. It kind of gets bullet points, like boom, boom, what I'm trying to say. I don't know if that's similar, but to me, when I watch it, I'm like, I get that. It's just kind of hitting this rhythm in my voice or what I'm trying to say, and I appreciate it. And then, I gotta say, I only started really putting captions in my videos when you and I started talking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, there's more people. Well, first of all, you don't have to be deaf to appreciate it. You could be the guy sitting behind your desk at work, not working, scrolling, and you can read what I'm saying.
Yeah, that helps.
But I mean, I think when you can kind of change a little bit up here, like, okay. Well, we've got a broader audience now.
Making it accessible for everybody, basically. Yeah. I mean, when they say, what app are you using?
Video AI.
Okay, there's another app they use called Caption. It popped whenever I talked, but it didn't break it up though, like in syllable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's another
captions thing on Instagram just gives the whole thing you're saying.
Yeah.
The video AI that I use on some of my stuff does the kind of like what I don't know what you're using on your Instagram. I like it unless you're just doing that yourself. Which
Caption.
Okay, captioning. Okay.
Yeah, it's just easier because you can just try to use the clear voice and then the caption pick it up. But sometimes I don't understand what I'm saying.
And you got to go in and edit it. I know, it's such a pain in the ass.
But here's what I noticed. Ever since that I'm Deaf music video came out, we're starting to noticing other, well-known musicians, rappers, or, I don't know, who else? He got these different icons, like David Bowie. No, is that his name?
I think he's dead.
I know, but...
Are you talking about Post Malone?
No, not him. Before that. He didn't die yet.
No. You're talking about somebody who's dead?
Yeah, but he died later. Like, when did he die?
Bowie, I think it was like a year or so ago.
Huh?
Like a year or so ago? Maybe?
He started adding words in the video.
Okay.
And then somebody started picking it up. All over, like, Kanye West. All of the lights.
Mm-hmm.
He started adding the words into it. And now people are making their videos accessible. And
Yeah.
I think it's great. Finally, it took about 10 years for them to start, like, realizing that they can add words in the videos.
And signers.
That's great. No, what?
And signers. Because I was just talking to my buddy Danny tonight about this meeting, and he said that he's been to concerts where they have somebody signing.
Yes.
And it's like, it's interesting to watch because they're like dancing and signing at the same time and trying to get that vibe with what they're doing. It's got to be incredibly difficult.
Like, very difficult. I mean, I know who you're talking about. What concert did he go to?
I think he saw it on the internet.
Okay,
but I can't remember which one it was. But that's one of the first things he said tonight when we were talking about signing.
I gotta tell you,
his wife is a speech. No,
pathologist?
his sister-in-law is a speech therapist. And his wife is also in education, and she knows sign language because
really?
what she does. Sometimes she has to use sign language with some of the kids, so
that's great.
It's yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, they're kind of dialed into that. So
that's awesome.
So he understood when I told him about you, and he brought that up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the first time I saw a live interpreter was in Lollapalooza.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know. I think like 2014, 15. I can't remember. And I went with one of my best friends, and Mark, and he took me. Mark is like a festival veteran. He's deaf. He's hard of hearing, but I mean, he can hear, and he's obsessed with I don't know how to say it. Humphrey McGee. Humphrey
McGee.
Yeah, he's obsessed with him, and he has over hours of music in his laptop. Like, how you know all this stuff? I only got like not even an hour. We got like 100 hours. I'm a little like intimidated. But this guy is music fanatic. He knows everything about music. Same with Sean. And so Mark took kind of like, I would hire the videographer to film this documentary about these live interpreters in Lollapalooza. And the people, the interpreters doing live interpretation of the songs, they busted their ass. I mean, they're like doing it, they're sweating, they're doing the thing. And it was like, wow. And all the people who pay for the ticket to attend, they get a VIP access to get real close so they can see the interpreter real clear. They don't have to be around, behind all this audience. They can just go right up and go right in there. You see the stage, you can see everything up there. That's nice. That's the perks of being deaf. You get a VIP access, baby. And so that was my first experience of what it's like to, experience a live interpreter just translating sign language. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty intense. And so because of that, I'm like, I want to go to the concert more often because of this. And the last one I went to was the Adrean Festival, like a hard rock that took place in Belle Isle in Detroit.
Okay.
And the highlight of the show was, who's the name of the band? Metallica. Oh my God, Metallica was so awesome. These interpreters were like busting their ass, and they're trying to keep the stage dark, so they have a little spotlight on them, so we can see the interpreter. Man, there are like tons of, there are thousands of people over there, and I'm like, I'm up there, I'm right there. I have to be up there. I don't have to be back there. I'm right here. I get the VIP access. It was pretty sweet. So at the end of the performance, the Metallica, the drummer, his name was Lars.
Lars.
Yeah, he threw the drumsticks and I caught it, but it landed in my face. I started bleeding. And I this head.
Yeah.
It just I just it slipped through my hand and landed on my cheek. It pierced my skin and I started bleeding. And then I was like, hey, with blood all over my face. I'm like, I got the drumstick. Yeah,
dude.
But I don't know what happened to the drumstick. I don't know. But it's just pretty cool to, I mean, it's nice being deaf,
I mean,
this accessibility is there. That's what I'm saying. It's getting better and better. And I just think it's great. Think about it. 1995 to 2000, we have nothing. We have pager, not even an iPhone.
I had a pager.
Yeah, I mean, I had a pager too, but only if my parents needed me. They needed my attention. I go to the payphone. I'm like, what? Bark yes for no. Bark no. But, I have a simple strategy. If I can't understand yes or no, I'm like, bark once for yes, bark twice for no. And like, do I need to come home? Ruff, ruff. Okay.
Well, that's fantastic.
That was my strategy back then.
Yeah.
But now I don't have to do that. I just FaceTime and then there's a live caption on the phone. No problem. Everything's there. I think it's easier for us in terms of accessibility. But 10, 20 years ago, it was fuck all.
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah, we had to learn the hard way. We get by. But here's the thing. Social media wasn't there back then. We were more socialized. We were outgoing. We were doing stuff. Now it's more like everybody stay home, play with the iPhone, playing video games.
But I think what you're doing, I can't emphasize this enough. I love what you're doing. You're shedding such a light on the deaf community that, I mean, my Instagram feed's not full of it, so I know not a lot of you guys are doing it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe this is a little bit of encouragement for more people to come out and kind of talk about their experiences being deaf, talk about their interactions with people who can hear, what if there's a struggle, what the struggles are, like how can we be more, inclusive. Because again, these are all things that I never really thought about. It's selfish, but like I don't know. You're the only person, the only deaf person that I really know, and I don't still know you that well. And
I think it's rare. I mean, I understand that in a large community of us, there's very small numbers of the people, very small, and it's tough because they're limited by what they know based on what they learn in the course of their life. And I don't blame them, just because they don't have a lot of exposure to deaf culture, or maybe they see brief of what happened in the deaf community, but not much. I mean, it's not their fault, really. It only happened. How do I say this? Like yourself, I reach out to you, and you learn a little bit about me, and I learned a little bit about you, and for you, you're like, I don't know anything about deaf community. What is that? So you go deeper. That's your journey to learn about deaf culture. Other people who, if they have never come across or cross path with a deaf person, then they'll never know. It's not their fault, But we're everywhere.
Yeah,
we are everywhere. I mean, for me, as a deaf person, I'm always exposed to deaf culture. I'm always communicating with deaf video production. I use sign language every day, and I have most of my friends are deaf. I'm talking 90% of them are deaf. My family, I love them, but they don't really use sign language as much. So it's not that easy for me to communicate with them, if if there's a loud background noise, or if we're having dinner together, and just it's a little bit of it's a constant struggle. We call that table syndrome, no, table dinner syndrome. I mean, it's a deaf person trying to catch on. What's everybody talking about? You can't. It's impossible.
You got 4 or 5 different conversations going on at once, and you're like trying to keep up with everybody.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like watching a bunch of ping pong balls happening. I mean, not just one, but many. It's impossible. But so I just have to accept it and be like, no, I can't do it. I'm just gonna focus on the food in front of me and just like, all right, and then be done with it. Move on. Go somewhere else. Sometimes they will try hard, be like, hey, and they will ask me a question and have a one-on-one conversation. But that's it. I can't do more than 2 people. It's impossible. But if they deaf people, no problem. I can see what the guy's talking about across the table. He's signing. I can see what he's saying, talking about his life or talking about the beer he drank at Manistee Beverage Company.
Shit.
Stuff like that. There's the perks of learning sign language. Number 1, you don't have to use your voice. You can just, let's say you're in a bar, it is so loud. You have to scream from the top of your lungs to be able to get your voice across. Sign language, bam, bam, bam. No problem. I can save my voice. I can save my vocal cord.
I hope I do this right, but we were talking about being at a bar. Because like I said, my buddy Danny and his wife, they will use sign language in a bar when they're far away from each other or it's busy.
No problem.
But he'll do...
That's asshole.
That's not asshole. That's not asshole.
Asshole.
What is it like? He said something like this. That means like 3 times means a beer.
Like beer.
Oh, beer. That's what he said. I'm doing asshole. I'm an asshole.
I don't know if that's maybe. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. He did. I think he did what you did. Yeah. This. That's 3
beer.
times. Yeah.
It's a lot of beer.
Yeah.
It's beer, whiskey. With 2 fingers, whiskey.
And then I think he went. This is fire.
Fireball.
Fire. Diarrhea. It's like when you're a kid and you learn swear words, you know?
Yeah.
So he was teaching me some dumb shit, but anyway.
But my wife told me not to do this, so I can't talk about that. I have to filter what I'm saying, so. But yes.
I get it, Bridget. My wife's the same way. Stop with the F's. Quit swearing so much. That's me.
But yeah, there's not. Okay, here's the thing. There's sign language. There's different sign language all around the world.
I wanted to touch on that a little bit because what I'm familiar with, and I think what like my little one in school, they did like a brief little sign language deal. And you could like carry that on for a little while, and then it just stopped. It's not even elective anymore. But it was more letters, and not words. When did that change happen? I mean, has it always been you could sign a word, or did it start with just letters to try to form sentences and?
I'm not the right person to ask in terms of...
I guess that history doesn't matter, but like now it's mostly you can have a conversation with somebody, not have to spell anything out, right?
Well, it depends on the words.
Okay.
Some people spell... some sign language, some words don't have sign language for it. So you have to spell it out specifically. And I mean, like, like cowabunga. You have to spell it cowabunga.
Gotta spell it
there's
out.
no sound for it. Sound for that word. Or location. Sometimes people say like Chicago with the C. They draw a 7. Chicago and Detroit. But they say Detroit. Where is that? You spell out Detroit to help them. You spell out Detroit. That's the sign language for Detroit. So, but here's the thing. Sign language have different rules and rules. if you say, I go to the store, that's English, I go to the store. But for sign language, store, I go.
Why is that?
I think it's more of the visual. You say the noun first, and then the action after that.
Okay.
So you say it's store, I go. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That's per ASL. But that's American Sign Language. The British Sign Language, their alphabet, the way they do alphabet is totally different. So for American Sign Language, they do one hand, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. But BSL it's vowels in one hand. It's A, E, I, O, U. So it's A, D. I'm spelling out my name. It's A, D. I don't know the rest of them. But they have a different way. They just use, have a different sign language for BSL. They have two hand.
Okay.
So, like I said, this hand have vowels. We don't have vowels in American Sign Language. So BSL is a little different. And
now, where would that be used at? What country?
UK.
Okay.
British,
yeah, they like to do all that
British.
shit different. Wrong side of the road, metric system. Like, get with it.
Yeah, yeah. And there's Italian Sign Language, there's German Sign Language.
Do you think that's derived from dialect, though?
The what?
Like different dialects?
They have different dialect. I mean, when I went to the International Film Festival in Toronto, there's like different deaf people from all around the world that came to that festival, and the way they sounded was totally different. I'm like, so we basically use a universal sign language. A universal sign language basically is like it's a language that sort of in the big bowl of everybody's language. In the big bowl, it's like everybody can understand, using gestures and stuff like that. They call it Giuseppe. I'm not sure if I say the word right, but I call it universal because it's a language that most of us understand based on concept and common sense, really. People. We sound like a bunch of people, individual. For American sign language with the P, people. So like a different sign language. So, there's a lot. We're talking about the tip of an iceberg of the American sign language in general. There's a whole deep stuff right here. And I mean, there's Asian sign language. They're like a whole nother level. I can't really explain it. It's a whole nother level. I mean, I don't know. It's intense.
Well, I mean, I guess I would say that it's a lot like just learning another language.
Yeah.
Which is super intense.
Yeah, you don't have to speak at all.
Yeah, but you gotta learn. You know, you gotta learn it. And I'm not trying to learn French right now.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess to a certain extent I can understand the plight.
But here's the thing. It's not all just hand. It's also your face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like the way that we. Yeah.
I'm angry. Or like, what? Or like, excuse me. You have all. It's all spelled out. The way your facial expression put together. You know.
I bet your wife knows exactly how you feel without you even saying a word or signing anything, because you're so in tune with how you have to show your emotion while you're speaking and signing.
Without a doubt.
You're fucked. You can't hide back anything.
You know. I mean, today she can tell. Well, look, she can tell how I feel. She's empath.
Yeah.
Empath.
Yeah. Empath. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, she's very in tune with everybody else's feelings, so she can feel what I feel.
She must be a Virgo.
I don't know what I'm. I think I'm more of a extrovert, sort of, like, impulsive, person, I guess, just doing something crazy without thinking about what the consequence would look like.
I'm a little more introverted, believe it or not. This kind of pulls a little bit out of me, but I'm typically, I like being with just my wife. My kids.
I know exactly. I mean, like, the older I get, the more I accept the fact that, I mean, this is just the way I am.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we moved out here to begin with. Because I live in Chicago, I live in New York City, I live in North of Philly, and just like, and Detroit. Oh man, I gotta tell you, that driving to Detroit is hell for me. There's just too many cars. I feel like I can feel the stress rising on the way to Detroit. I mean, even though I lived there for a while, I mean, the weirdest thing is on the way to Manistee, the way I feel is like, oh man, it felt like I'm going to the hot tub. It's like,
yeah, man.
Oh man, I feel good coming, like driving on 55 going west. You got beautiful trees. You're just cruising. You got nobody chasing after you or trying to get around you. You're just driving, listening to your music, and you're just relaxed. You're on the way home.
You're getting away from it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a good buddy of mine who recently retired from law enforcement, worked in Grand Rapids, narcotics. Not that matters, but had a place up here for a number of years, and very similar to what you just said. As soon as he got a certain distance away, it's like it all just melted.
Oh my God, yeah, it's like butter in a frying pan.
Yeah, just melts away. This is heaven up here, to be honest with you.
Huh?
This is heaven up here, in my opinion. I love living up here.
I know. I mean, I didn't expect to be living here. I didn't know anything about Manistee to begin with. I've been going to Traverse City my whole life, because that's where my grandmother lives.
Okay, I was going to ask for the connection.
Yeah, so we drove through Cadillac and just past Manistee sign. So if you make a left, you go into Manistee, right? But you just kept going. And I never thought I would live here. Never. That's just that place that I'm living in now just pop up in my my radar. I'm like, because originally I was looking around for homes with the river view or anything with water, because I need to see the water. Water has some way to I don't know, I can't really explain it, but if you look at the water, it has some calming effect to me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, 100%.
So I can't find anything like that in Pennsylvania. Nothing. I'm like, fuck, there's nothing there. But then I'm like, you know what, let me look at Michigan. Might as well. That one popped up. And I'm like, we bought the place right away.
Nice.
And then, but we haven't seen the place.
Well,
we were in Philadelphia.
A lot of people did that shit, Adrian. A lot of people did that shit.
but my father-in-law, he lived in Spring Lake, near Grand Haven.
Yep.
So I said, hey man, do you mind check out that place? So he went. And he said, can you play? No problem. I think it would be easy to maintain. I'm all right, cool. So we bought the place. And me and my wife were like, we had to go. So we're like, I think maybe we got it maybe in February, March, January, February. I think January. And then February, March, I don't know, but I think February we were like, you know what, let's go over there. Let's go to Manistee. So we drove 14 hours just to get to Manistee. We drove through the fucking snowstorm. Like as soon as we, like Midland 10. I don't know.
Yep.
So as soon as you get to Cadillac exit, bam, everything looked like Star Wars. I'm on.
Yeah, that dude. That's what you're gonna get there in the wintertime. That's what you're gonna get there.
Like, hey babe, we're almost home. We're kind of like 2 hours away, but it's like we're almost home. So when we got to the condo, I can't tell you how much we felt like instant relief when we got
awesome,
there.
Dude.
I was like, oh my God, I felt so good here, and we just took the first step in that condo. The instant relief we get, and I just know that we're gonna be here for a long time, Manistee. And so now that we live here for over, not even 2 years, but maybe a year and 9 months or whatever, I see a lot of changes here.
Yeah.
I saw that there's a hotel being built, and I can see that it brings in a lot of business somehow. Even though it's a little bit challenging because I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. I'm very picky with what I eat. I like good food. So I'm just like, there's limited restaurant here. I know, it's limited. So I go to Traverse City to eat something else.
The comments are going to be fire at this point.
I love you guys, but I like to eat. I like to eat a lot of food.
We're getting
not
there.
Just pizza.
I think we're.
We got Domino's, Pizza Hut, Alice.
Big Al's, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I love them. And there's another one though. There's one more.
Fricano's. We got AJ's Pizza.
Fricano.
There's more. I mean, even the Golden Stag now, which is a
Golden
really nice
Stags.
restaurant.
I haven't tried that.
Very good. Very good.
I like them. I've been going to that place.
Yeah,
Golden
very
Stag.
good.
But yeah, I mean,
you gotta get used to a slower pace. You'll figure it out. We got some friends up in Frankfurt. Have you been to Frankfurt?
Once. They look like Norway for some reason.
Sure, it's a small community, but like the Birch and Maple, or they have a like a Mexican tequila restaurant right next door. I'd butcher the name if I tried to say it, but they're phenomenal. Chefs, like the couple that owns these restaurants are restaurant people.
Oh yeah,
so they get it.
Man.
So you should check that out. I give you that stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So yes, for sure. Yeah.
Do you think the sushi restaurant ever gonna come here?
Oh, there's one in Frankfurt. But yeah.
Hey. I don't want to drive an hour to get there.
I get it. I'd love to see a sushi restaurant here. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I went to, me and my wife and my family, we went to Norway for 2 weeks. And there's one, we stayed in what's the name of the town? Stavanger in Norway. It's an oil capital of Norway. And I found out that there's one sushi restaurant that has 1 Michelin star. I'm like, I talked to my wife.
You gotta go.
Yeah, I said, babe, hey, let's just go there. And she was like, we have a daughter here. We can't just go there with an infant. I'm like, damn. All right. But you can go by yourself. I can? Are you sure? Yeah, go. I'm like, yes. So I went by myself. I documented myself going there. And I took videos of how the sushi chef, they put the food together and all that stuff. And I had wine package. So I had wine, drinking all the wine and eating. And I was like, damn, they were phenomenal.
Next level, fresh too, I bet.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. I've never eaten this stuff before. It's like whole different sushi I've never tried. I've never tried oysters and followed by a shot of gin.
Well, yeah, so they're setting it up the way it should go down. Yeah.
Never had it before with caviar on top of it.
Nice.
It's like I was in a good place. That cost me a lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure 1 star. So to fill up on sushi too, I'm a glutton for sushi. So it's like, can I get some more? I'm not full yet. I get the platter. And it's like, well, sir, this is for a family. I'm like, no, it's for me.
I gotta tell you a funny story. I took my wife out on the first date when we started dating. We went to a sushi restaurant, and she ordered something. She ordered a small meal, and I ordered a boat.
Yeah.
You know what a boat is?
Very big.
Lots of sushi.
Yeah.
And I thought that she would eat some of it. And she didn't eat a lot of it, but she ate some of it. No, not a lot. Then later, at the end of the night, we got the bill, and I said, "You want to split it?" Knowing that I spent the boat itself is like 3/4 of the cost. I'm like, no, never mind. I'll pay the rest. She looked at me like, what? What is it? What, excuse me? No, I cover the whole bill, no problem. But yeah, sushi. If we have it here, I think it would be really good for all of us.
Well, it'd be good for you and I.
Yeah, but I don't
There's
know.
people here that would dig it for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about living in Detroit. You're exposed to a lot of different food. But when I moved here, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty limited here. How do I get by? You know, how do I get by knowing that I have some craving?
In Ludington, the Blue Moon restaurant has sushi, which is only 25
Ludington?
miles away.
Ludington?
Yep.
I know, I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I checked them out for
You
sure.
like it?
And there's a restaurant there, Table 40 something. I'm gonna butcher it, but anyways, I don't believe they have sushi, but it's another nice
Yeah,
restaurant.
you approved?
Yeah, I like
it.
really good food. If I'm gonna go out to eat, because we do all the cooking at home, and when we go out to eat, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
When Betsy and I go anywhere, it's a big deal, because she's got a full-time career. I've got all the shit that I got going on, and really, when we're done at the end of the day, we just want to be in our pajamas.
Pajamas, such a nice feeling.
Oh God, dude! And so when we go out, we want it to be, like I said, we spent a whole day out running around for her birthday last weekend, and then we went to the Golden Stag for dinner, and that was.
What did you order? What did you get?
I got a stuffed pepper.
Stuffed pepper. I haven't got that one yet.
Yeah,
I got saganaki.
It was good. Well, I'm plant based, so I don't eat meat.
Okay.
I've just recently been. I mean, I will eat fish. I'll eat sushi.
The pescatarian?
I mean, I guess you
Fish
could call
eater.
it that. Whatever you want to call it. I basically stopped eating. I was vegan for a while. I struggled with high cholesterol and rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm painful rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm the type of person that makes sure I don't want to do any kind of surgery unless I absolutely have to, and I don't like taking any kind of prescription drugs at all. So I was staring down the barrel of taking all this cholesterol medicine, blood pressure medicine, and I said to Betsy, whatever I can do to not have to do that, that's what I'm going to do. So we eliminated everything out of the diet and went just vegan. And I think a lot of it was the red meat, because as I kind of experimented from there, I think red meat was the trigger.
The trigger.
But the longer I've done it, I've never felt better
Really?
than I do right now.
What about butter?
We use a vegan butter.
Okay.
A plant-based butter. It's very similar to butter.
Okay.
It's not I'm not missing anything. The longer I go without eating red meat, the less I want to eat it. But like I said, on occasion I'll have fish. I'm not scared of it. I eat cheese. So I think the thing for me was the red meat, because that's the one thing that when I started eating it again, all the shit started coming back. And I got checked for rheumatoid arthritis again. Gone. So you can do it holistically, is what I'm saying. And I'm a firm believer in doing whatever you can naturally before you start doing things pharmaceutically to fix.
It's tough. It's tough because
It's tough.
I mean, I have a PKD. You know what that is?
Mm.
Polycystic kidney disease.
Jesus Christ, dude.
PKD genetic, and my dad have it. He got 2 kidney donations, kidneys.
Yeah.
And on my dad's side of the family, my dad's mom, she got it too. She passed away when she was 50. And my dad, he got 2 kidney donation, and I inherited the genetic mutation, and I have to monitor my kidney function every day since maybe 2015, because I was denying it. And I want to know if I have it or not.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I gotta know. I need to know, otherwise I'll die early. I don't know. So as soon as I find out, I got it. Kidney problems. I mean, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's just that, like you said, you have to monitor your cholesterol.
Yeah.
They don't do a good job cleaning the cholesterol. So yes, cholesterol is not great for me. And I'm trying to eat less butter because I love butter.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a place for that. I do. I really do. I think there's a place for, we're human. So I heard a great line the other day, like, if you're super healthy, you're just going to die healthy, right? We're all going to die. So, I mean, but I'm going to go out kicking and fucking screaming. So, I mean, that's my goal. But there's a place for butter. Just like there's a place for cheese and cake and all that shit.
Cake.
God, I could eat an entire cake.
What's the name of the ice cream place? They just
the Alpine?
No.
Alpine.
Oh my God, they're such a teaser.
Yeah.
They're a teaser. Every time I walk by, they're teasing me, calling me, like, eat me. Eat my ice cream. And I'm like,
hey dude, have you ever been to Two Slices?
Oh, I love them.
Fucking Two Slices, dude.
They're so good.
Absolute best.
They're awesome.
I think what Cecilia's doing is some of the best shit in Manistee. Just hidden away down there in Maxwell Town, But she's phenomenal. I love going there. I'm glad that you found her. I'm glad you found her because I love Two Slices.
I think my wife found them.
Really?
Yeah, she said, "Hey, grab me some sandwiches." But I always get mac and cheese because I like the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I gotta have the mac and cheese.
I mean,
I'm gonna eat that shit up.
It's fresh. It's artisanal. I mean, it's good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember some of the menu. I think it's beefy boy.
Yeah. I mean, I get the.
I know you're a vegetarian, but they got beefy boy.
Yeah.
They got like muffalato.
Oh, muffalato bread is
very good.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave him a lot of praise. I'm like, thank God you're here. I'm happy you're here, and we need good sandwich just to maintain our mood. The mood stabilizer, I feel.
Good food is a mood stabilizer.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what they are. I mean, like I said, with my kidneys, I have to take medication for it. Sure. I have to be honest with you. I've seen my dad taking tons of medicine. I mean, it's like, fuck me, I have to go through it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through it. But
I don't want to go through it either.
But as long as I take care of myself, walk around, go to the gym, and be careful.
Walk the puppy.
Huh?
Walk the puppy.
Walk the puppy every day. I have to. I mean, stress has a lot to do with it. Stress. And since I moved out here, I lost weight. I mean, my heart is better. My heart pressure is good. And I have dogs chasing after me. Like because I used to live with a bunch of loose dogs.
Yeah.
And they chase after me. They jump the fence. They chase after me. I'm like, why? Here, I got deer.
Yeah, dude. You got deer probably in your front yard. I live a mile away from here, bro. And there's a 14-point buck in my backyard chasing around a 12-point in my backyard every morning. I drop my daughter off at the school, right over here. And right across the street from the school every morning where we park, there's a 10-point standing in this front yard. Just like,
Damn, I don't know how you deal with that. How you deal with the 10
They don't
point?
fucking deal with it. That's the thing. That's why they're so big, dude. You can't find deer like that out in the woods.
I feel like we live in Alaska.
Dude, it's out of control here, man. It's out of control. The deer population in the city of Manistee is insane.
Is that okay, though?
No, it's not okay. But
why?
Like, I don't know, because they're everywhere. I mean, it's a car deer accident waiting to happen. It's.
Isn't it a good thing though to have deers around?
It is out in the woods where people are hunting them. Not in the city.
I do remember maybe last year I was coming from the first. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm coming from the first street beach, and I was making my left to Fifth No, maple street.
Yep.
And that's the idea, just hanging out there in the middle of the street. It was just me. I'm like, God, move along. You're just hanging out there. I'm like trying to get in, and finally moved away.
I've seen deer over by 2 slices.
Oh, really?
Okay, so
yeah,
that's when you know that we have a problem with deer in the community. Like, there's no reason for them to be there at all.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you something. On the east side of 31,
Yeah.
a lot of crime, a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
I feel like I don't want to toss shade on that side of town.
Oh no! I'm just the guy who just moved here. I just want to understand better.
I think that there may be a little more over there than on the west side, but I also feel like it's a citywide problem.
Gotcha. I just remember there's drug busts on Brown Avenue next to the golf course.
Right over by the golf course, dude. Big meth house. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unusual, I feel.
Well, here's the thing. I talked to some of the law enforcement here in town about like the drugs and the crime here in Manistee.
Right.
And they say that Manistee is kind of this fulcrum where like Chicago, Detroit, Traverse City all comes here, drugs, crime, and then it branches out towards like Cadillac, Interstate, and then up.
Damn, really?
Yeah, it's like a fairway, I guess.
Wow,
a freeway
really?
For traffic here, for that kind of thing.
Man, that's just I'm.
And I think that's new. It's not. It didn't happen overnight. Maybe it kind of gradually got here, but I think really within the last couple of years, especially since COVID, it's peaked a little bit more.
Wow.
I mean, this isn't like Detroit or Chicago, big city. You've lived in New York, which is super big, but like
it's massive.
We've got Narcan everywhere. You got Narcan everywhere because there's a heroin problem. There's a problem with opioids. There's a problem with fentanyl.
I know. I know.
It's sad.
I just feel like, damn, dude.
That's nationwide, though.
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
I just feel like, it's just a bummer.
It's a big fucking bummer because I grew up here. I've been here my whole life.
Your whole life?
I left and went into the Air Force, but I came back, and I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. We had like one homeless person when I was a kid. His name was Roger, and I think it was mostly because he had some mental deficiencies. He had a home, but he chose not to live in his home, and that was it.
That's interesting.
And then in the course of the last 30 years, we have a homeless problem. We have a drug problem. We have, there's mental deficiencies that people are dealing with. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's really difficult to be homeless unless you have a drug problem or a mental health issue, or combined. It'd be hard for me to be homeless if I don't have a drug problem or I'm schizophrenic. I figure it out. I think a lot of it has to do with drugs and mental health issues. But, that's a topic for somebody who's way smarter than me.
That's heavy.
But
I just hope they get the help that they needed here in Manistee, I hope.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had, mental health facilities here in town. But then when, the government decided to cut all that, they had to go someplace, and a lot of them just ended up in the streets because the families couldn't take care of them.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man.
Big bummer, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
Okay.
I just wanted to know. I mean,
I don't think it's that bad, but I notice it because I've lived here my whole life. I'm from here, and I see it.
Wait. You born here?
Yeah. Yep.
You live here your whole life?
Yeah.
Since when?
Well, I was born in 1978.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
As my kids would say, you were born in the 1900s?
No. I'm just saying, like, I flew the coop.
Yeah, I left too. You know.
But think that, here you got beach access. You had everything you needed. But man, I'm gonna ask you some question. Has it grown? Not the same.
So, I've had this conversation a few times, and the analogy I make for Manistee is kind of like an accordion.
Accordion. That makes sense.
You know, it's ballooned, and it's contracted, and it's ballooned and contracted, and it's done that decade after decade after decade. You know, the city itself, the way the city's positioned, what Manistee was, you know, for commerce, for logging, you know, for the factories, for the freighters being able to come and go, for the lakes to push out that kind of industry. That's never really changed. You know, what we've been doing maybe has changed a little bit, gone from logging to more salt, magnesium with the plants that we have here. We had a drop forage here at one time. The city itself isn't built like other communities that can sustain an accordion growth and then continued growth from that. It's just not built that way. You know, a good example of a city that's not built that way is Traverse City. Traverse City keeps building on top of itself, and it's becoming more and more of a mess.
It's a mess.
It's an absolute shit show up there.
I remember that I grew up going there as a baby. I remember growing up, and I see a lot of changes. Like my grandmother, she used to own. Let me ask you, how often do you go to Traverse City?
Well, dude, I was up there. I'd say in the last 10 years, I've been up there 3 times.
Okay. Shit. Maybe he doesn't know. I'm gonna just kind of wing it. My grandmother used to own an art gallery called Bellstone Gallery.
Okay.
It's at the very end of the beginning of Front Street. Like if
East side?
Yeah, like if you were
I know where Oriana's is. I know where the old Oriana's is.
Where is
it's
it?
Not on Front Street though.
Front Street.
Yeah.
Okay, Front Street. Do you remember what the place do you remember the most on Front Street?
How about Little Fleet?
What is it?
Little Fleet? Is that on Front Street?
Little Fleet?
Yeah.
What the fuck is Little Fleet?
Oh my gosh.
Do you know Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
Okay, Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
So if you're facing this way, you're facing south. Okay, so you're looking Hocus Pocus. Go left, go all the way at the end. On the left side of the street, that's the Bellstone Gallery.
Okay.
But she doesn't own it anymore. She's old. She's 95 or something like that. She's so old. Sorry.
I was old.
But it's amazing how she's very strong. But she ran that Bellstone Gallery for so long until she had to stop because she was unable to keep going due to her age. And she another business took over called the Marshall's coffee place. Not sure if you know of it, but that was there. But anyway, before all the changes, there used to be a farmer's market on Front Street. It was like barely nothing there. It was just a little piece and bits on the street. It was just very, very low key.
Yeah.
And farmer's markets was there. You get fresh fruit and vegetables right there.
Yeah.
That was once. What there was the fucking coffee place, apartment building.
Yeah.
They slap it right down right there on the whole place, where the farmer's market used to be. Man, that place changed a lot. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it just it's just overwhelming.
Yeah. And I feel like, maybe not in our lifetime, that might decrease a little bit too. That might decrease a little bit too.
In terms of decreasing the way.
I mean, I feel like we can't keep building on top of everything.
Yeah,
Sooner or later, the people that live there are going to be like, this is too much.
And
they're going to leave. So there's going to be things that need to go away. And kind of a restart or rebirth of whatever. We could have a whole podcast on civilizations coming and going, dude. I can tell you that right now. But, I don't see Manistee being anywhere near Traverse City. Nowhere near that in the next 4 decades.
Yeah, I just see, like, on the way here before this podcast, 2 of them for sale.
Yeah.
One is that little next to Salt City.
I mean,
and the one across the street.
It'll come and go. I'm going to find a deal here. I want to show you. So change is coming anyways, whether you like it or not. So this here is are you familiar with the Gateway Project?
And the entry? It's just like that. It's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there. Just gravel.
Well, this is the new drawings for it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty massive.
This is a hotel.
Hotel?
And this is supposed to be kind of a hotel. And this is supposed to be like a visitor center, multi-use business building here.
I don't know. I got a mixed feeling about it.
Well, I think the community had some mixed feelings about it initially too, but and it's evolved. It's changed from what it was originally going to be. These are the plans, but.
So what do you think? You think it's going to be a good result or a bad result? From 1970s. But was there a bridge?
I don't know what that is. I was looking at that too, but that's definitely. I think that's coming from the hotel, which is this here.
Gotcha.
I think it's coming from underneath there.
So a hotel. So gonna compete with.
Well, I know that they're thinking about doing some shit like selling rooms. So like you could buy a room and use it when you want to use it, and when you don't want to use it, the hotel will rent it out for you, kind of situation. I don't know. Although I will say, could there be better use for the front end of River Street? Right now there's nothing there, and it was a real.
I'm gonna be frank with you.
Be frank, please.
We already have enough hotels to begin with. We already have.
Yep. I mean.
This
Hampton.
That's the Hampton, but there's another one. It's the one with the pool. They also have a dock as well.
Oh, the Riverside?
Yes, that one. But there's a little bit further down, across from the Outsiders, a little bit further. There's another one.
So we have the Manistee Inn, the Riverside, and the Hampton here.
Oh, the Riverside.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is that enough, or do you need more?
Well, I mean, I would say, as somebody who's been here forever, peak season, people are staying out of town because there's no room.
So we have a lot of visitors.
Yeah.
But do you think we need more of what the local wants? Like, what do the local needs?
Yeah.
I mean, do we need to cater toward outsiders, people from out of town, or do we need to focus on what the local wants?
Yeah, I would say 2 things. As a business owner, catering to the outsiders helps my business.
That's true.
As a local who's been here forever, there are numerous things that we can focus on. We can focus on housing. We can focus on, the drug culture here and trying to get that under control. The people that don't have homes to live in, we can focus on that. I tend to focus on outdoor recreation and how we can create an atmosphere in Manistee that, gets people outside playing a little bit more, utilizing the spaces that we have here, the trail systems and whatnot. There's a lot of. I think we can do it all. I think it's a little bit more skewed towards the business side because I think that's where people see the dollars. And I guess the hope is if we bring in some of this big business. I guess it's all up to interpretation. What's big business in a small town like this? The Hamptons, big business. You bring something like that in, it brings dollars to the community. Those dollars are spent in the community. Tax money spent in the community. We can use that money to put towards resources to help do all the things that I just touched on. It's a give and take. And I think we need to be careful that we don't overdo it or do something that's detrimental to the community, and hopefully that the elected officials that we put in place understand that, and you kind of put your hope in that, because the last thing I want to do is be that local that says I'm fucking leaving because I can't live here anymore, and I don't want to do that. I love this town. I love the beaches. I love the community. I love the people. I love my neighbors. My family's here. My family's all here pretty much. So it's I'm really blessed.
I mean, I'm grateful that you talk about being, considering that you live here all your life, and give me a little detail about these changes and what best for the Manistee was not that, what's not best, blah blah blah. I mean, because I just moved here, I don't know too much about it. I don't know. I only got like a fraction of it.
Yeah.
I can't really tell you, but I only see what I see. I just know I'm a foodie.
He's a foodie. Well, you're also a dad whose baby's only 8 months old. So, as a dad who's been a dad for 20 years now, I can tell you this: what I want out of my community is a safe, loving environment that allows me to have the opportunities that I require to grow my family in a peaceful place. And I think I get that in Manistee.
You did that. That's what I wanted to hear. Because I have like I said, I have an 8 years old, and I had a dream, I had a vision that I would take my daughter to the beach. 5th Avenue, the first street, doesn't matter. And just hang out there, play in the sand all day, get some tan. Just walk up and down the street in downtown Manistee, just hanging out, whatever. Wreak havoc. But that's what I'm wondering about. Teenagers, if there's something you do here.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, all I get was a bunch of newspapers saying people throwing bricks in the windows, including yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they throwing bricks?
Yeah.
And I'm freaking out because I live in the office. I'm freaking out. Are they stealing my shit? I don't know. So how do you deal with it?
Well, I was a little shit when I was a kid.
Okay, we're all there.
Yeah.
But I don't throw bricks.
I didn't throw bricks either. And I'm pretty sure that, they went through the judicial process. I'm pretty sure they got the correct punishment for what they did. It doesn't happen every day. I think the little crime spree that was going on here was perpetrated by a handful of little dickheads. And they
don't throw bricks!
Yeah, don't throw bricks, you pricks.
We're all together.
Yeah.
We're a family.
We don't live in a community that's full of, armed robbery and murder. Thank God. You're far enough up north now. Adrian, you're far enough up north now where most people have a weapon.
I guess so. That's true. I don't have any weapon. Yeah. That doesn't mean I'm not dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, you're far enough up north where, everybody still kind of knows everybody. So
Really?
we're like 1 or 2 people away from finding out who the little dickheads were that threw bricks in my. The day that happened, literally the police knew who it was. They knew who it was. They just needed the evidence.
Okay, let me ask you something. I don't know if it's the right question, but in terms of surveillance,
Yeah.
do you think we have enough surveillance here in Manistee? As far as I know,
You want me to put my tinfoil hat on?
No, let me ask you something. I think a couple of weeks ago, there's a van asking a little boy to if they want a candy,
Yeah.
and that freaked me out.
Sure.
That happened over there, next to a park.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I saw that too.
And the boy ran away because
Yeah.
he knew better. Thank God. Where's the surveillance? Is there surveillance over there getting the license plate?
I mean, if you want my honest opinion on that, as a parent,
Yeah.
I don't want a bunch of overreach.
No, I just feel like we need surveillance. I feel like surveillance can be like a bunch of cameras all around. Get capture the motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, that would.
Just stay the fuck out of our community. You come in, you're fucked. No problem. I'm sorry for cussing, but I'm
That's
just
right.
being the
Trust
parent.
me.
I'm
If
just
anybody
like,
watches my content, they know that I say the F word.
I'm just feeling all these angers.
That'll change. You'll go back to yourself. I mean, it'd be great to be able to say, why isn't there surveillance? If it was my kid, I'd be like, well, what the hell's going on over here? But also, I'm the kind of person that I don't want people watching me all the time either. And I'm a law-abiding citizen. So
that makes sense. But think it's the guy watching the monitor, and let's just say UK.
yeah,
And they have cameras everywhere.
yeah,
Hardly anybody get caught. Hardly, because they're being monitored in public. They're monitored in public area,
yeah.
right? But here, if you have cameras all over the place, I think everybody will be safe. Even though they're being watched, but I think they're being watched by the police or somebody who's watching constantly. They're making sure everybody's safe. I mean, yes, we have to trust a person watching the camera all over the place. Maybe
Yeah.
the group of people watching the cameras. That's what our tax is doing. We're paying them to watch us to make sure our community is safe.
You know what I think about when we talk about stuff like this? You ever see the movie Minority Report?
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, dude, we're going there. We're getting into that sphere. We could fuck that up. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I still feel like good old police work will get the job done at the end of the day. But yeah, I think in areas like downtown Manistee, a little bit more surveillance would do good for both the public and for the business owners.
Mm-hmm.
When you start getting into like neighborhoods, I don't know.
It's big. I mean, we're talking like, 3.5 square mile around here?
2 miles is a city. 2 square miles.
Okay.
2. Not very big.
Not a lot, but
Yeah.
still, I don't know. I guess I'm just being protective. I just want the future to be safe for my daughter, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just being a dad.
Yeah.
I guess we're going too deep, don't we?
No, we're fine. I mean, my wife and I talk about this kind of stuff all the time. Like, remember when we were kids? Like, I mean, we are doing our best to have feral children. I want my kids to be free, independent, outdoing, because I think we fall into today. I think a lot of what is happening with our kids is they're being programmed to be a good student, a good worker, a good doer, a good consumer.
Yes.
And we laugh sometimes, like somebody's going to call Child Protective Services on us because our 7-year-old is just out running free in the backyard. But because it doesn't happen like that anymore. Kids aren't out in the neighborhoods. When I was growing up, We had neighborhood. The neighborhood kids would all get together and we go run for days and days. Our parents had no fucking clue where we were.
Yes. That's exactly our time. Our time.
Yeah. And now I feel like it's very caged in.
I know. I feel bad. I mean, my mom kicked me out.
Yeah. Get out of the house,
Yeah,
dude.
get out of the house. Go out. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I just go out there and knocking at my friend. You want to come on and play? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just explore and go in the park. And I don't know how my mom do it. I don't know how she do it.
I think in good faith. My mom was the same way. Get out of the house. Get out of my hair. I don't want to see you until lunch. And then I don't want to see you until dinner. They had enough shit to deal with, right? Honestly, in my heart, I believe that it's just as safe today as it was when we were kids. We just are inundated with more tragedy, trauma, bad news constantly, and it triggers us
what's
to
funny?
be super protective of those around us.
Yeah, that's very true. In fact, I had dreams that I would have a conversation with my daughter. And like, if the guy come up to you, blah blah blah, do something that's weird, and you feel like it's a little threatened, I want to give you a piece of. It looks like it looks like a weapon.
Yeah.
But it looks like a cat. And you put your cat in the cat ear. It's like a.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna give you maize. I feel like I don't know. You have a daughter, right?
Yeah, every one of my kids should know how to use a knife.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm wondering about. Where is the line where you feel like it's too much that you're giving your kids weapons in order to protect themselves? Like, where's the line? I'm like, you have my permission to. If you feel unsafe or they just grabbed you or whatever, go ahead and just give them hell. Make sure they bleed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel weird by talking about it, but at the same time, as a dad, I feel like I want them to stay alive. I don't want anything to happen to them.
I mean, that's your most important role now as a dad, is to make sure your kids survive. If you think about like what it was like in the early 1900s, 1800s, or whatever, I mean, having your kid live past 12 was a fucking achievement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good job to you.
Yeah, I mean,
you got one more left.
Yeah, I got one more left. That's the thing. But I think that's what we want. We just want to protect them. We want to make sure that they know how to protect themselves. But we want them to like be free. When I gave the keys to my son for his first car, and when I gave the keys to my daughter, my oldest daughter, for her first car, I knew I was saying, you're on your own. Right.
That might be hard for you.
It's a struggle.
I don't know how you do it. They're out there just doing their thing, and like, oh my God.
You spend your whole life protecting them.
You must be stressed, don't you?
Well, you have a daughter now, right?
I have one.
Okay, so like when your daughter is old enough to date.
Oh God, don't go there. Right?
But think
about
not
this go way. There.
You're spending her entire life protecting her, and then the first night she goes out on a date with a young man, you're going to ask that young man, whether you verbalize it or not,
I'm going to wear a T-shirt.
Your daughter while you're gone, while they're gone out on their date. I
have a shotgun in my closet.
I think at the end of the day, a good family bond, good morals, communication constantly. The kids are more resilient than you think they are. Trust me.
Okay. So you feel like growing the children here in Manistee is a good place. I'm looking forward to it, really.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. My daughter is the blushing, I feel.
Yeah. They are.
And I'm grateful to have a daughter, really.
Hey, you know what my wife says? Like, your daughter is an angel.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a choice in having her, right?
No.
She was in heaven already, and she picked you, and she picked Bridget, and said, that's who I want to be my mom and dad. And I think that's really powerful when you think about it that way.
That made me think about the movie.
I don't know what movie you're talking about. I don't watch TV.
Mr. No One.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a movie where it's just a rows of babies in heaven. And then some angel just touched the baby and the memories are wiped. And they got that one baby. And the memories not wiped. So he down and went to the parents. He has all that memories.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it just made me think about this baby thinking like, I choose that parents.
Yeah.
And that's mine.
I think your kids.
I mean, that's a whole different level.
Yeah. No, we can go deep, dude. I can go deep for days, dude. I can go deep for days.
Yeah, that's crazy. So as far as deaf culture, do you think you feel like you're getting enough about
I forgot you were
culture?
deaf.
Huh?
I forgot you were deaf.
No. But if you were to go to Detroit, there's tons of deaf community there. They call it Deaf Night Out. Deaf Night Out, where all the deaf people get together and just hang out and shoot the shit at a bar or a Starbucks or a bowling alley, whatever. And just a bunch of deaf people. We're talking like 50 to 100 of deaf individuals in Flint and somewhere in
No shit.
somewhere in Detroit. No, Flint have a deaf school. I don't even know that. Flint have we call MSD. What's that called? Michigan School for the Deaf. Yeah, Michigan School for the Deaf. There are some schools that have deaf program, and it's like a mainstream program. Mainstream is like myself. I go in to a regular school, a public school, and I'm mainstreamed. That means a deaf person will have a support system to make sure that they have accessible to be able to get through regular school. To be honest with you, I passed out all of them. I don't remember any of them. I passed out during class because I can't really pay attention.
Yeah.
I have no accessibility at all. I'm just like passing out. I don't know how I get by. I barely pass. I'm like C average or whatever. That's what you get with lack of accessibility. But for other deaf student like Sean, he had accessibility. He had interpreter program. Yeah. I can have one. He does. So they have someone who's sign and they learn sign language, and they have interpreters translating what the teacher was saying and allowing these deaf students to have access through sign language. I got nothing. I got note takers. You know who who doing the note takers? Student. I got a bunch of like bullet points up like. But here's the thing. My mom, she's like, here, she gave me this audio recorder. I'm like, okay, give it to your biology teacher. Have him put him on the front pocket. So I did that. I said, here, can you, I want to make sure, I want to know what you're saying. So here's the audio recorder. So he put him in the pocket. And just, at the end of the class, I get it back and I give it to my mom. And she was like word for word.
No shit.
Word for word.
She's a
saint.
And
I'm looking at
dude.
it. Huh?
She's a saint.
Yeah, so I'm reading a page to page. Like, I'm talking like 10 pages handwriting. I'm like, cool. Pop quiz the next day I passed. Because I was failing miserably. Because everything he said is going to be in the test. In the pop quiz. Do you think I'm going to... I mean...
Yeah.
Why? That's not fair for me. A deaf student. You're going to talk about a thing and that everything you talked about is going to be in the test. That's not accessible for me. I'm going to fail miserably. So we had to change it. So we got that audio recorder and she reading everything verbatim. And I passed it flying color. I don't know how she do that. I don't know how she listening to it. But she just said that one time we have a substitute teacher. And basically saying that she heard the teacher saying, Well, we had a substitute that one time, and then the next day, and then I gave her the audio recorder from that normal teacher, and that normal teacher said, "You gotta talk about this with the substitute teacher," and the student were like, "No." "Well, do you guys talk about this?" "No, we didn't." "Well, what do you guys learn?"
Yeah.
"Nothing." And she was listening, and she was writing, and it's pretty funny. So then later on in college, we had a thing called C-print. C-print is a professional captionist. It's the same person that will tape up whatever's been said in the courtroom. They have a very special kind of key typewriter. I don't know how, it's not like a regular keyboard.
Yeah.
It's like a combo button.
Yep.
I don't know how they do it. Professional. So I had those. And the thing about me is I don't understand interpreter very well. It's a brand new language. So I don't really retain information. So we have a C-print. I do well reading, and I do a good job. So that's what a group of deaf people who have that, like myself, don't know sign language, we have C-print. And other deaf people who know sign language, they use interpreter, they do well. So if you come across a deaf person, don't assume there's a one-size-fit-all deaf person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to be like, do you know sign language? Can you read my lips? Always ask the question.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so when you come across a deaf person, just make sure, don't assume that they are like everybody else. They're different shade of deaf people.
Dude, like, so a lot of times people will do shit with, like, if you're from another country or you're old,
What do you mean I'm old?
No. What I'm getting at is they start talking loud, like that's gonna help the situation. Do they do that with you?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, you're deaf? Well, what if I talk really loud?
That doesn't do anything. Do not over enunciate the word. That doesn't do shit. Yes. Talking too loud, that's not going to do anything. Or over enunciate the word, that's not going to help. Just be normal. Don't feel sorry for them. We're happy. We're happy people. We don't have to listen to shit. We can turn ourselves off and be like, I can't hear assholes. I'm sorry. Oh my God, my wife is going to kill me.
That's okay. I get it. People are going to understand, dude. They better understand. They'll understand.
But there's not many of us. I think there's one person, one deaf person working on my, I don't know. There's one so far in my life, in my experience living here.
Yeah.
One deaf person, that's it. But there's some deaf students in Manistee High School, I think. And I don't know if they have American Sign Language program, deaf program for them. I don't know. I don't know anything about that school.
I think it's an elective.
Elective. No. I'm talking about...
Or like in the school for them.
Yes.
No,
like, do
I
they
don't
have
know.
Interpreters?
I don't know if they do. I really don't.
know.
I can't answer that.
That's
I don't
what I'm
know.
worried about. I don't want...
Yeah.
See, there's a woman that organized it and had me meet at this intermediate
School district.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
I went there and I got to meet these deaf individuals. They're all different. They're totally different from one another. And they're shy. I noticed they're very shy.
I'm sure.
So I'm trying to get them to open up a little bit. And I'm like, what do you learn? What kind of accessibility do you have? You just make sure you speak up. If you're not learning anything, just speak up. Stuff like that.
That's
to help
cool.
them to have empowerment, to empower them somehow. But that's it. That's all I know. I don't know what happened after that. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on over there.
It's a
Because,
shame.
I've been through school. And
I'm going to have the superintendent for the school district on here next month. So I'll ask him.
Yeah, ask him. What are you doing for the deaf kids?
Yeah.
Because, do you know about C-print? Do you know about CART? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Who's taking notes for them? Not the student, I hope, because they're not very helpful. I'm just basically looking out.
Yeah, you should.
You know, because I've been there. I know. I pass out. What do I learn? I pass out. I dream a lot. I became a filmmaker because I dreamt so much. I look out the window. I'm just thinking about other topics. And so whatever I go through, I understand. That was back in 2000, like 1995 to 2000. There's not a lot of technology back then.
How do you think the tech's progressing? I mean, are you dialed into how the implant world is moving? Is it getting better? I mean, are we going to talk about like Neuralink or Elon Musk or anything? We're going to put something in your brain and you're going to be
nothing like that.
No.
Well, a cochlear implant is. How much do you know about cochlear implants?
Not a whole lot. I'd say almost nothing.
Okay. I have an internal device inside my head. Not inside my head, it's under the skin.
Okay.
So what the doctor did, they scoop out the skull closest to the cochlea. Cochlea is a bunch of ear hair cell that absorb the vibration of the sound. So you have, sorry.
You're fine.
You have a hammer and an anvil.
Yep.
All the sound are pushing against the eardrum over here, creating vibration. So it's kind of like you have vibration going on, all kind of frequency, and it sent the vibration to cochlea, and it's sending this vibration to the ear hair cell inside your cochlea, and then you have auditory nerve attached to your brain. You hear stuff, right? This one, it bypassed all of the anvil, hammer, eardrum. You go to the wire, electrical wire, they call it electroid, going in. It's been inserted into the cochlea. Because inside of my cochlea, I barely have anything. I don't have ear hair cell anymore because of my fever, high temperature fever. It burns off all the ear hair cell, resulting in me not hearing anything. So, but even the dead ear hair cell, the electrical can still stimulate them. You know what I'm saying? You can still send electrical signal to the dead ear hair cell and still send the signal to my brain. It still works. I don't know how that works, but it works. So this one, I call it the Nintendo because that's old. But they're dominant.
Yeah.
Because this one has 16 noids. Because noid is electrical impulses. That whatever the sound I hear, it sends out electrical impulses.
Yeah.
This one had maybe, 20, 100 something. That's like Super Nintendo, maybe not Super Nintendo, I would call it like PlayStation. It's like more bits, more information. But it gets overwhelming because it sounds different, So I stick with that because it's more dominant. So that's how it works. But that's old, that's 1995.
That right there is 1995.
That's 1995.
No shit.
That's very old. This is 2005, but that's 1995. And the evolution of technology, it gotten better. I had the thing called body-worn processor. I have a wire going behind my back, and then you see this, and then it looks like a hearing aid.
Yeah.
Sitting on my ear, and then there's a thing called T-mic. T-mic is basically microphones right there. Back then, the microphone was behind my head. It's back there. So everything I hear was behind me, not in front of me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I think I remember talking to somebody who had that, and they would go like this.
Yeah.
when they would talk or listen. They would turn their head.
Yeah, because the microphone is right there.
Yeah.
It's behind them. Why would they do that? So that's why they created a thing called T-mic. It's right there. All the sound, this ear, it's meant to capture sound. That's why they are weird, goofy shape. All the sound is going into my ear right there. So I hear better. I can go like this. I can hear the bird. It sounds weird when I do this. It's more amplified.
Yeah.
And, but here's the thing. And then over the time, there's a thing called BTE, behind the ear processor. I mean, it's just this. It's a huge hunk of thing, just sitting on the ear. Instead of this, they make it smaller and have it sit on the ear.
Okay.
You got a big battery, you got a headpiece right there. I don't have to worry about the wire. I don't have to worry about going, like, about to sit down on the toilet. I don't have the thing hanging. I'm like, oh,
Sure.
Oh, damn, I'm about to drop that in the toilet. Holy shit. I'm just holding on to it. I don't have to worry about that. But then I started to realize that the battery only lasts an hour and a half. So I have 4 batteries in my pocket. They cost about $125 each. So I got 4 batteries that was like almost $600, $700.
Walking around with all day.
Yeah, all day. And then I swap it around like 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but yeah, every day. And it was like I had that maybe all the way until maybe 2000. What? 2018, 19. I stopped because I got tired of it. Because whenever I do wedding videography, that thing died, and I'm just like, oh God, I can't do this. I gotta figure out what to do. It's intrusive. It's interrupting my creative workflow.
Yeah.
So I got this. This one battery lasts me 2 days. I don't have to worry about changing it every day. This was basically the original when I first got the implant. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other deaf kids. Here's the very sensitive topic. A lot of parents don't. Okay, I'm gonna be upfront. Not all of them, but some parents, when they find out they have deaf kids, they don't know what to do. The doctor will be like, "Hey, get cochlear implants. That will be the best solution for your deaf kid. They will hear by the time we start activating the cochlear implant." So, but that didn't give. They just did it without the kid's consent. Yes. That's the thing about it. I know some kid who grew up with a cochlear implant from age 1, and they're like talking on the phone. They don't know sign language. They're just like bam, 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 talking on the phone. They behave like a hearing person. Are we robbing their deaf identity? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you take that thing off, you're totally deaf. You can't shower with it. You go to bed without it. You're totally deaf. You're a deaf person without it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I have a little bit of identity crisis for a long time. Like, who am I? Am I deaf? Am I hearing? Am I a deaf person, or am I a hard of hearing person? What am I? What is the hard of hearing? What is the hard of hearing person? What is it? What does that mean? It took me a long time. I just went through the rabbit hole to figure out what was going on with me. What am I? I decided I decided to label myself a deaf person, because if you take off my implants, if I take it off, I'm totally deaf.
Yeah.
I'm deaf. There's no other way to it. There's no other way to explain it. Just because I have my implant doesn't really make me a hard of hearing.
Sure.
I'm still deaf, no matter what. It's just a tool for me to able to communicate with hearing people. That's it. To allow me to, to make my life a little bit easier, to go on about my day, to be able to talk with you, talk to the police, talk to the teacher, But if I don't wear it, and you don't know sign language, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to write it. You have to write things down, or you may not know how to communicate with deaf people. You don't know sign language. You know what I'm saying? So those parents will be like, I don't want my heart to have a hard life. I don't want my deaf kids to have a hard life. I want to make sure they can hear, to make it easier for them. But at the same time, they're gonna go through identity crisis, like myself. I just went through it. So
I can't sympathize with that, but I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I do see what you're saying, for sure. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's wild.
mm-hmm.
That's wild. And I don't know what that struggle would be like. You know.
I mean, everybody got struggles, I'm sure.
Sure.
But in my case, I have 4 senses. You know, taste, smell, touch, feel.
Sight.
You know, sight. I mean, I mean, you know, it's weird. I bumped into a deaf girl during spring break back in college, and I was in New Orleans, and we were all like shit-faced and whatever. And I said, I remember her. And I said, hey, you're also a student at RIT. And she said, yeah. And I was shit-faced. I was like, hey, when you dream, how do you see hearing people? How do you see the President of the United States of America? And she said, they sign. They all sign. They don't speak. I'm like, holy shit, mind blown.
Yeah.
They all sign.
That is such a great... Oh, I wish I had that question. That's wild, but I believe it. In your dreams, your dreams are your reality, right? Or a form of your reality.
Yeah, sign language. All the way President signed. I'm like, damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
And then I never saw her again.
Ugh.
Well, that's okay, I guess.
Can I get you in trouble with Bridget real quick?
No. They're just a deaf. It's like a deaf.
No.
Culture shock.
Do you ever...
Go on.
Do you ever look at your wife when you're in an argument and say,
oh, no.
Battery's dead?
She can sign.
Oh, fuck. So
That's
you're
right.
screwed.
I have no way out of it.
Yeah.
She knows how to communicate with me, whether with and without. Hand down. I love you, baby.
I'd like to meet her.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's she's a great person. I see her. I mean,
I don't want to end this, but I do want to ask, like, how did you guys meet, and what was that dynamic with you being deaf? And she's not, so.
Well, she had deaf boyfriends in high school in the past. In high school, she was dating a deaf person, and they had good relationship, and she was able to build from there an understanding what it's like to have a deaf boyfriend, and I guess that's how she became an interpreter because of that. I mean, it kind of inspired her, and I mean, she had experience having a relationship with deaf boyfriends, right? At that point, she was understanding more about deaf culture, and she put herself in the middle of deaf world where she can understand what it's like, you know, what it's like to have, like, what it's like for a deaf person to be oppressed and not getting accessibility. And she's a very strong supporter of ensuring that deaf people have accessibility. And I mean, she's a big supporter of mine. She's pushing me to give me some courage and confidence to do my job. Yeah, I'm grateful, you know.
I mean, that's one of many things with the ladies in our life that they're definitely super encouraging.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Partners. Supportive.
Yeah.
You're a rock.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be without her, to be honest with you. I don't. I'd probably be in a whole different place. I don't know. I can't imagine. You know, to be honest with you, dating was hard.
I'm sure.
Dating from the last... I've been looking for the one. I was engaged before, but it didn't work out. It was rough. But over the course of my life, I've been dating through... I don't remember the dating app.
FarmersOnly.com?
Huh? Like chemistry.com.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm talking
Cupid.
2000, huh?
Cupid.
Yeah, that
know.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 2019 to 2000. No, not like 2011 to 2015. All the dating apps. I tried everything, and here's the thing. I always have first date. Oh my God, I have to tell this story. I took my first date to watch to the deaf version of Vagina Monologue. Okay? And it was a deaf version, alright? It's all sign language,
sure.
Okay? So
amazing.
I wanted to see how she react. I'm always testing them because I'm in the deaf world. I'm always going to be in the deaf world.
Sure.
And they gotta get used to it.
Yep.
If they can't handle it, I can't be with you any longer. You gotta get used to it. You gotta know sign language, or you may have some kind of
like a working knowledge of.
Be inspired to learn sign language. So, and I took my first date to watch Vagina Monologue, and then just watching the whole thing. I watched my best friend. Hey, what do you think? I don't know. I always ask my best friend and the people who I consider my family, the deaf group. I always say, hey, what do you think? Because I want to make sure they like. I want to make sure that they like. Whoever I'm dating. And they were like, they're like hard critic. They criticize everything. I'm like, damn, you're right. She's a smoker. Damn, she's a smoker. I know she's a smoker. Damn, I know. She's a skulker. She's a skulk. Damn, I can't have the skulker. I can't have that. All right, she gotta go. No more. So we, blah blah blah. So they're the people I value opinions when it comes to dating anybody. So if they like the person I dated, then I will continue. If not, let's move on. I have to find another person. Bridget knows sign language, obviously. It was not a problem. It was easy, and everybody loved her. She's about as silent as I am, no doubt.
You know, I tend to believe that a little bit. And the little bit of interaction that Bridget and I have had online, I think she's pretty sharp. I think she's pretty sharp.
True. But we're growing a family. We have a kid together. I'm just trying to sign basic sign language to my daughter.
Great.
Like milk, sleep, food, chicken, just basic stuff. I don't know if she's there yet. I don't know if she understands what I'm saying.
She'll pick it up.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea. I've seen my friends have their own kids. We call them CODA, Child of Deaf Adults.
Okay.
CODA, like the movie. I don't know if you guys seen the movie CODA with Molly Matlin and all this cast. Just go to apple.tv and look for Coda, CODA. That's the movie I'm talking about. Check it out. I think you guys will enjoy it. Coda is basically it's child of deaf adult, I guess. But this one is child of deaf dad. My wife is not deaf, so. But anyway, I've seen these codas.
Yeah.
And they know sign language. And they're like 8 and they're 5, whatever.
Yep.
And I'm like looking at them and I'm like, I think it's going to be my kid one day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
They're going to, no sign language,
yeah.
whatever. I'm just like, I just be patient with the process. Like, watch my
Trust
kid
the
grow.
process. Trust the process.
You know, just see how it goes, you know. They grow up pretty fast, so, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. One day they're crawling, next they're standing, walking.
And then they're leaving. So I heard something the other day. We'll end it on this. You will spend a total of 19 years with your child. 18 years of helping them grow and develop. And then after they turn the year of 18, the next forever of your life will be summed up in one extra year with them. Give or take.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go off and do their own thing, and they're going to be with their friends. And I'm dealing with that with my oldest son. As soon as he graduated high school, with work and girls and friends and college, he's already gone more than he's home. So
I think you did it. You did it.
Well, that's the point.
I mean, you did it. You're child doing the thing. I mean, your son. That's your. I mean, how do I say it? If your son is being independent, I think you did your job. But I don't think it ends there. I think it's still going to go on.
I think the analogy was more like you're not going to see them.
No.
But I talk to him every day.
That's true. FaceTime, yeah.
And I text him or call him or just a little note here. But the goal is to grow good humans and not little dickheads.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the most polite thing I can say about it. If you're gonna grow an asshole, it's because you're an asshole. So if you want to have a good human, you got to be a good human.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, yes, totally, 100%. I think I'm a good human, I hope.
I think you're a pretty damn good human.
Oh, yeah, man, you too, man. Right back at ya.
We got to do this again sometime, all right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good time to end it. Good job.
Nice. Thank you.